Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to the COVID-19 lockdown account. Today, I've got Dannika with me. Dannika recently moved back from Dubai over to the UK and is staying over here with her family. So, Dannika, how are you at the moment?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm very good. I'm very good. Very extremely busy, but enjoying being at home.
Yeah, no, it is actually quite nice. It's a nice difference.
And I was like, you get time to kind of reflect on things and have a little think, right?
That's exactly it. I think this time is like all about recharging and kind of just getting to where you want to be in your head and know what you want to do in life. And it's just a time to kind of pause and realize what's happening.
So talk to me about Dubai. So, what were you doing out there?
So I'm a fire performer, so I breathe and dance with fire and eat fire and all sorts.
Wow.
And I was working in a super club out there. Um, so I literally went from hardcore nightlife to kind of being with the kids and having my dog back. Complete. I can't even. The lifestyle was just completely different ends of the spectrum.
So, what was your daily kind of day-to-day life out there like then?
So I was waking up, going to the gym, which we can't do now. I'd go to the gym, I'd go to the mall, or I'd go to a beach club, and then at night time I'd work until I wouldn't get home until about 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Here I'm waking up before 8 a.m. most days. That's just I would never do that in Dubai. To me, this couldn't have come at a better time. And it's like everything happens for a reason. I massively believe in that, and this is time for me to reflect and say that isn't what I want to do anymore. I
Yeah.
kind of want to grow up now and sort a life for me and my dog, and hopefully having family and all things. I've just realised it's complete. I want a life change, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, is there any path that you're choosing to follow right now? Is there anything that's kind of
Well, so I've got a degree in fashion design and marketing, and I haven't used it for years. So I'm spending this time kind of coming up with a business plan, and I've got two ideas basically that I want to fulfill. Yeah, so obviously I haven't been using that my skill set in that way, or using my brain for a while. I've had lots of fun. Don't get me wrong, I've really enjoyed it, but now it's time to kind of focus and kind of become an adult, as they say, if I ever could. But I'm going to try.
and has that been like an epiphany that's happened during your time back at home?
Definitely. Like I already knew I was kind of unhappy and I wasn't fulfilled in what I was doing, but I still kind of just went with it. But now I'm being forced to kind of do something different, and so it's putting the rocket there, if you know what I mean. And then so now I know I definitely need to do that, and I'm going to make those things possible.
Now, with doing what you've done over there, and you've been quite an active person. I know a mutual friend of ours, and that's how we got in touch. And she's spoken to me about things that you've done in the past and like some really really cool, interesting stuff, which has probably built a huge kind of little black book of contacts for you that you can probably tap into to help get things going anyway, right?
Oh, definitely. And with if I'd started this a few years ago, I wouldn't have kind of my following or anything like, or know people that have a following too. Whereas now, I can use it to my advantage. I know lots of people that I can kind of use and say, if I send them a garment that I'm going to be making, I know that would advertise it because they're my friends. And I'm using that kind of free, accessible thing that I didn't have years ago. So now I can use that to have my advantage. So that's the positives out of it.
It's the momentum, right? And I was
Mm-hmm.
actually speaking to a lady called Fabian the other day, who is a female empowerment coach. So she pushes women to go to their next level and stuff. And she was saying to me that there's quite a big shift, especially with women from the age of about 28 to about 32. That
Mm-hmm.
period there, where in her experience, she finds that women kind of realize what they want, or they start working towards becoming the person who they're now comfortable to be. Would you say that's something that you're starting to experience now?
Well, yeah, I'm 28, so perfect timing.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm on that path. Yeah, I think when you're a woman, And as you get older, you do start to realize that other things are more important. Like, for example, downstairs, I've got my sister's little kids staying with us just for the morning while she works. And I want to have that life eventually when I'm ready. But before, I couldn't do that. So you kind of see what's more important, and kind of, I've lived my life. I've had an amazing time, but now I want to pass on, and I want to teach, and I want to learn more, and all those things. And I didn't really have the confidence before to do it, and now I feel like this is giving me it. And again, knowing who you are is a big part of it.
Yeah, yeah, massively. I think having that time to be able to reflect on who you are and really dial into deciding what path you're going to take. You do need time for that, and the way that the world is structured nowadays, we don't really have that opportunity. So I suppose that this lockdown measure and this time for that reflection has been a blessing for a lot of people.
Oh, big time, big time. There's loads of things that people would never be doing if it wasn't for this. And I know there's a lot of people that could be struggling, but there's also the other spectrum. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of coming to terms with themselves and kind of going on a spiritual path or things like that, and they're learning to meditate and become more spiritual, and it's really helping them. And they wouldn't do it if they was doing a 9-to-5 job and doing this and doing that and going out partying and all those things. So for me, seeing people growing that way, it's been really nice.
Yeah, especially with the spiritual side of things. Now I'm terrible at meditation. I'm really, really awful. I try, and I try every day without fail. But mindfulness is something I can do it, really, really work with. And I go for mindfulness walks. I take my girls on mindfulness walks as well, to be able to kind of reposition things in my mind. Is meditation and mindfulness something that you practice yourself?
It is, but it's so weird. During this lockdown, I haven't needed to meditate as much. In Dubai, I was meditating every day, like twice a day, because I needed to be grounded. Here, I don't need to do it as much. I did it last night, but I'm doing it like twice a week here because I just don't need to do it. Like, it's amazing for you, and you should be doing it often. But if you don't need to do it, and I'm like you say, I go on walks with my dog every day, and that's kind of my meditation too, I guess. With like nature, there's no nature in Dubai.
No, it's desert. Desert.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, which is yeah, I've never been. I do want to go, but I don't know.
It's lovely. If you take the girls, they'd love it. There's so many things for kids, but I just don't want to live there anymore.
No, a lot of people have said similar stuff. That in short term, a lot of fun. The same. I've got friends that used to live in New York, and they said the same stuff as well. Very fun for the short term. Long term, it's hardens you up a bit and probably takes you away from the real world, I suppose.
Literally, yeah.
So, talk to me about the events that followed up to lockdown and you deciding to come home. So, you're over in Dubai. What kind of happened in those last few days?
It was crazy. I had a flight booked home for May, and that was all fine. And then obviously this all happened, and my work said that they're closing the club like from tonight. So we was all like, what do we do? We've got this apartment to pay off, and I kind of had a really bad feeling that if I stayed and got that flight home in May, I would be very unhappy and I would end up being stuck there. I don't know why, but I just knew it was bad from day one. So I just booked another flight, come home, like I didn't even think about money or anything like that. That wasn't important to me. I'd rather be here with no money than there with no money. My initial thought was just get home to my family. So like I ended up coming home with minus, which was not the reason why I went to Dubai in the first place, but I'm so much happier for it, and I've got bigger plans anyway, so I'm going to be fine. And like money isn't even important right now. It's crazy because I'm not really a person to care about money. So for me, it's like this is how it should be. People shouldn't be flaunting all their objects and things. If you go on Instagram, it's people like with lubes showing their red heel and stuff like that. And I think there's more to life than that.
Yeah. And I think, well, you know what? We have all that inside, you know. I have quite a big wardrobe. The missus has a pretty big wardrobe. And since lockdown, I've worn my team's kit, you know, so like the stuff I'd normally wear at work, which is just plain black t-shirts with my logo on the back, pair of jogging bottoms. The missus actually just has just worn like big long baggy dresses, kind of like long t-shirts, and we haven't worn anything of any kind of value whatsoever since lockdown. And it makes you think, why have I got
It's not important.
It's
You
really
bought all these lovely things, which is lovely, but right now, what worth does that have to you? Nothing. Everyone is equal right now. It's like I've never had this in my life. I've never experienced this or felt this way. And for me, it's like, it's beautiful, I think.
and it is. It's a great message to have as well, and something to kind of sit and reflect on, that all of that stuff that we kind of work so hard to go and then just waste our money on. You know, if we kind of focused on time as opposed to possessions, and you know, we would have a better outlook and probably a better mental state in some degree.
I think so. I think it's making people realise what is important
and
what isn't important.
100%. So you've flown back home. When was the last time you saw your mum before that?
I actually come home for a week in January, so I do come home quite often, but I never really get to see my friends. When I'm out there, I don't even talk to them, if that makes sense. So here I'm like wishing I can see them, and I'm making all these plans to see them, and I've got things to look forward to, and I can't wait to see them and things like that. But yeah, when I'm out there, I don't even speak to them. I'm kind of in that bubble. So at least now I'm speaking to them, and I've actually got people I've spoken to that I've literally not spoken to for over 10 years, and kind of rekindle friendships in that way. And I think a lot of people are doing that because they're like, oh, who can I speak to now? Oh yeah, and they speak to them. It's nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah, you have the time to just you have time, so you effectively
connect.
Go through your books and go through your, especially with social media as well, you find people that change, right? And they start becoming on your frequency, if you like. They start living the same kind of lifestyle, or they start doing the things that you resonate with, and you think, you know what, I'm going to reconnect with them because I agree with that. I like that.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
And it does work the other way, of course, as well, doesn't it? You know, people that you thought you loved, and you think,
I do agree with that. Yeah, bye.
Not so much that anymore. Which I get.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, for people listening in the future, you know, it is the 4th of June. There's been a lot of protest around the world for a few different reasons, but one is definitely with the race war over in America, which is a huge problem. Do you have any friends that have been affected by anything like this at the moment, or people out there? Or
I've got my friends are all going to the protests and things like that. I don't really have anyone around me that's been affected by it as such, not on a personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that makes sense.
I think it's more just people wanting to kind of voice their opinion on it, which has to be done, right? That has to be done.
Oh, massively. A lot of other people are just going for it and saying how they feel and doing all this. It's amazing that they're making a difference. I just don't know how I could make a difference myself.
I think understanding is probably the best way
for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's enough. And just saying that, I personally just have covered it as much as I can, and personally, I've just decided just to be as understanding as possible, to put my opinion out there. But that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And
then, I don't want to say anything or be that person. So I just kind of want to be there for everyone, and it's very saddening that it's still a problem.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So you've come back. You're now at home. What did the first few days of lockdown look like for you?
So I actually had my good friend, she's Lithuanian, and she had to come home with me because she couldn't get home. So I saw my best friend as always. Oh no, I didn't see her because I wasn't allowed. I didn't actually see her. So I couldn't see my best friend for ages, and we're used to seeing each other all the time when we're here, and that was probably one of the hardest things, and not seeing my niece and nephew straight away, because the first thing I do is see my best friend and see my niece and nephew, and I couldn't do that. So it was just me, my mum and my friend in the house, and it was just kind of, it it was very somber actually. I just remember it being quiet, like we were sitting there and we was thankful that we was home, but was also panicking about getting her home, and we're also panicking about what life is going to be now. And also we didn't have a job really, primarily, so it was still quite sad because it wasn't like me normally coming home and it's like woo,
Yeah, yeah,
see everyone, if that makes. Yeah.
yeah. It's a bit like a bit fruitless, because I can imagine when you do come home, and I've got friends that live overseas as well, a friend that lives over in
Mm-hmm.
the Cayman Islands. Whenever they come home, it's a huge celebration. Um, a bit like I suppose when people come back from anywhere. But yeah, it's very hard to probably deal with that as well. You just come back. It's almost as if you come back in secret.
It was quite scary actually. Even being on the plane and everyone's got the masks and like we wasn't used to it. Like we are now, everyone's got them. But for me, it's quite scary. It was like a film. Like, is this real? Is this actually happening? But then I had that gut instinct that it was really bad. That's why I come home in the first place. So I knew it was real, but it's still kind of like, what? What is
Yeah.
happening?
And I think as well with you made the right choice. The last thing, because you'd still be in lockdown over there right now. Nothing's open.
They're open now, but they have curfews. But they went
Yeah.
in complete lockdown, and I would have been stuck in my apartment for over a month, and I just couldn't do that. Looking at those four walls,
Yeah.
it's not like you don't have light coming in like this. It's literally like four walls. It's not like England at all.
Mm. And I think all of like your clubs would be shut. Your work would have
Mm-hmm.
been gone. That.
Yeah, it's shut. You can't do anything.
Mm, yeah, which is that mentally would be terrible. And the only place where you could go for outdoor space, what would have that been like? What's the outdoor space like there?
Even the kind of outdoor spaces, they were being closed as well. As
Oh,
I was the day that I left, my gym closed, my pool closed, so you can't even chill by the pool, even though there's like no hardly anyone else that goes by the pool. You couldn't do anything. Like, and if you walk down the street, it's so hot anyway. So what's the point? Just to walk, you can't. Here you can go on walks. It's lovely, refreshing. You go on walks there, you're like, oh, give me water. So it's not the same. It's not a delight. It's not nice at all.
no, no. So yeah, you made the right choice in that respect. So we've been what 10, nearly 11 weeks now for people listening back. What kind of things have you done that have kept you occupied, kept you motivated throughout these times? Have you learned anything new? What kind of stuff have you been doing?
I don't know if I've learned anything new. I think I've learned a bit more about myself. I've just been attached to my dog the whole time because I'd missed him for months and months and months. So me and him have just been getting that relationship back. And just like I said, talking to people online and things like that. I've been having a big sort out. I've been sorting all my clothes out. I'm now selling them all and things like that. I would have never done that before, which is good for you, spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Um, just been reconnecting with a lot of people, reconnecting with myself, and kind of just having a massive wake up call as to what I want in life and where I want to be and who I am and things like that.
Mm, mm. Which massively helps. Have you been using any of these apps like have you been using Zoom at all, or the face party stuff? Have you had any quiz nights or
I've had quiz nights with my family. I've got a very large family.
yeah,
So that's been very interesting. I had a couple of quiz nights with the girls. Um, but yeah, FaceTime is really a really good one. Couldn't get into the house party thing. For me, it was a bit weird that strangers could just kind of call you. I don't like that. I want my friends.
no, I don't like.
Um, but I think it's amazing. I know it looks like on my social media that I'm like glued to my phone. I actually am quite a free spirit, and if I'm busy doing something, I won't check my phone.
Mhm.
So in one sense, it's good that people have got all on their phones talking to people. In another sense, they also need to remember to disconnect and kind of be with the real world as well, because you shouldn't ever take so much from people that aren't your friends, from just people on social media and things. I use my platform to kind of give things rather than take. Because if you take, you can be very mentally drained and you can be really affected by things. So that's my bit of advice on kind of social media
Mm.
platforms and things like that.
Post and walk away, right? Post, walk away. Post, walk away.
That's it. That's it, exactly. Yeah. Try
Yeah.
not to kind of absorb the energies too much, because it's not real.
Mm, mm. Oh, massively agree with that. And one of the things that I learned to do, especially with Facebook now, I'm not much for a scroller anyway, but when it came to Facebook, and I use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, even TikTok, all for business. You can, it's so easy just to click a notification, then before you know it, you're in your feed, But one of the things I tell everybody is just snooze the negativity. Just if there's negativity, snooze it for 30 days. If someone's been consistently negative, unfollow them. Don't unfriend them, unfollow them. And always like the positivity, because the way the Facebook algorithm works, the stuff that you start liking and loving, it will show you more of. So on my feed now, if I go through my feed, it's just constant positivity.
I love that. That's good. That's amazing.
And do the same with hashtags on Twitter and Instagram. If you follow just positive stuff, like positive vibes, all the cheesy stuff, that means you just constantly got this.
We like cheese, come on.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone likes cheese. That's it. And it just makes it positive. Exactly. So yeah, I'm a massive believer in what you just said there as well. So you're very active on social media. What can you see those platforms helping you do in the future?
Like I said before, just kind of like brand awareness, and kind of getting my brand out there once it's made, and getting other people to publicize it. And I want it to be a very positive thing as well. I don't want it just to be a brand. I want it to kind of be a kind of lifestyle brand as well. So it's kind of happy and colourful. I want to spread that, because like everything's so grey all the time, and I want everyone to see the positives in life. And I think I use social media to kind of do that, and kind of be like I'm all about self-love and loving your own body and things like that. So I want to kind of spread that, and social media is a massive platform to do it, because it's visual, it's aesthetics, and that's kind of my thing anyway. It's very creative and fun and kind of positive, which is the message here.
Yeah, amazing. And have you got like a target audience you're going for? Is there a certain demographic you're looking to work with?
So one of the ideas is very specific. It's kind of young girls, I guess, and older girls if they want to. And the other one is going to be kind of everyone, every female, let's say. So I'm going to have help with that, because obviously there's some categories that I don't really know about. So I'm going to get people to kind of come in with me and do that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very exciting. And I can imagine that, especially now, this time is going to allow you a way to express yourself and experiment. But the beauty of now, if you're going to start building stuff, is you have specialists and you have people who are normally very big or too busy to help, that just want to help, just want to do something because they're bored, right?
Yeah. They're like, give me something to do. Yeah, literally.
Exactly that. So capitalize on that. You save yourself a fortune, and with your contacts and the people that I think you'll probably do really well with that. Like really well with that.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, like you say, you've got your sister's kids downstairs.
Yeah.
Do you get to see them a little bit more often now?
This is the second time kind of seeing them in person, because obviously we've not been allowed to do it, to see them. And even now we've got all the doors open, and it's still not normal, but it's a step forward. It was honestly like not being able to cuddle them or anything like that. It's very sad, but that's the life we're kind of in right now. And I don't ever think I can't see any time soon where we're going to be able to shake a stranger's hand. Like what was the norm is never going to be normal again. I don't think anyway. I don't know about you.
No, I think you are right. I think that we're coming up to a very turbulent time, and I think that things that we used to do, shaking hands, kissing on the cheek, hugging, gone. You think that's hundreds of years old, so it's just a shame that kind of behaviour's gone. But until there's a vaccine anyway, but I think that it's going to shape the way that humans react around each other anyway.
And also it's going to take a while for us to adapt again, even if it was brought in tomorrow, you can like hug your friends and stuff. I think people are going to be a bit weirded out. Like for me, when I live in Dubai, for example, no one, you don't really see too much of people holding hands or kissing in public and things like that. When I come back here and I see people kissing in public, it weirds me out because I'm not used to seeing it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's going to take a while. Even if it does come back, it's going to take us a while to adapt anyway. We're all going to, because we've all kind of come a bit of a recluse in it. Even like the crazy people like me, even I've become comfortable with kind of being indoors and not seeing anyone. When I do see people, it's kind of like, what's going on? We need to adapt again.
and it's yeah, I think really extroverted people have had to go through like a mental shift now. You know, they've had
Yeah,
to change, which is hard, right?
it is. But at the same time, I think that was the development that was kind of happening for me anyway. For me to kind of come out of being like center of attention and kind of growing up a little bit. So I'm enjoying it. I like this change.
I think that, yeah, I think you're probably still going to have a platform where you can be center of attention, but more just in a different way, in a different way,
Yeah.
to the people that matter, Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And yeah, it is, once you find your purpose and you find your path, it really does change everything. And it has done.
It does. You don't matter about things like that. You just kind of want to focus and just be.
So looking into the future then, so things that you've learned during lockdown, is there anything that you want to take away and you think like that's my new normal because I want it to be my new normal?
Probably just kind of, as we were just talking about, being not as extroverted, and kind of keeping myself to myself a little bit more, which is safer for me anyway. I kind of always looked up to people that were a little bit introverted, that didn't say hello to everyone and tell everyone their business and blah blah blah. And I always used to think, I wish I was a bit like that, because obviously when you invite too many people and their energies into your life, it's not good for you. You absorb it all. So for me, it's kind of, I'm learning to be a bit more guarded in a good way, if that makes sense. Be a bit more protective of myself. Kind of, I'm going to take that from it, and I'm going to take the fact to be like being more, let's talk to them. I haven't spoken to them in ages, and reconnecting with a lot of people, because when you're in your own bubble, you don't do that.
No, you don't. And it's so easy to be caught in that bubble and essentially let that bubble float off away from everyone else, right?
Literally, yeah. Well, it's time to pop it. It's popped open.
There you go. Find a new one. And especially when it does come to friendships, and when it comes to, it comes to people you surround yourself by. I am very, very, I'm a strong believer that you need to be around people that you want to be like. I can't remember who said it, but, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Is something that has always stuck with me, which is a saying that pretty much means that you are going to go in that direction, and you need to make wise choices about the people that you spend the majority of your time with. And that way of thinking and way of living has helped me push forward, and I think what you're doing now is going to change and going to build big things. Which is good. So let's have a little bit of a close. We're going to come into the final bit of where we ask you a few more questions. So yeah, we've got a couple of questions that I would like to ask. One of which, it follows on very well from what we've just spoken about. And that is, has there been any advice, or is there anything you've really taken stock of from an external source that you found has really helped you during this lockdown?
So yeah, so I've kind of not been taking or absorbing too much from outside sources, because I've been very careful. I know things, not everything is true, and there's a lot of fake things out there, especially at the minute. I'm trying not to get too involved with that, and just kind of focus on myself and what's going on inside my brain and things like that. Because again, where I was going wrong in the past is that I was letting too many people affect me and too many energies in. So I've just kind of been like guarding myself and recharging myself before I can do that again.
I get that massively, and I think that it can affect you because you start looking at other people and comparing yourself to their journey, and And the truth is, no one really knows what to do right now.
It's about yourself right now. It's kind of all you've got right now is yourself and those around you, which isn't many people for a lot of people. So it's literally your time to reconnect with yourself and recharge.
And the last question I ask everyone is, if you could go back in time and you could give yourself some advice right at the beginning of lockdown, is there anything that you'd tell yourself?
Focus from day one. It's now or never. So tomorrow's never going to come. You need to make today now, basically.
Yeah, make they count. And is that something you're going to keep going with as well? Is this a new mantra for you?
Yeah, this is my new mantra. Yeah, this is what I'm going to go with, because I'm normally up with the fairies, but now I'm way more focused.
Yeah. No, that's amazing to be able to take that away as well. To learn that about yourself is, very, very important. And I think that everyone kind of needs that time to be able to reflect and focus on what they want to achieve. So let us know, where can we find you? So there's going to be people here that are going to be interested in your new projects. There's going to be people that are going to be interested in the stuff that you've done in the past. Where can we find you?
So you can find me on my Instagram, is kind of my main page that I'm more active on, and it's Dannika DDJ. So DANNIKA DDJ.
Cool, brilliant. And I suppose then we just we wait to see what your social media is going to bring for the future. Now, I wouldn't want you to disclose any extra information about your new project. We'll have to look and hope and wait and see.
I want to jinx it, that's why.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for today. I've really, really enjoyed it. We have had a few technical problems, but I think the editing team should be fine with that. But I really respect your time. It's been a fantastic interview and a great insight into, how people have managed to flee back home just before lockdown took place. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
Well, look, don't go anywhere. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone else and then we'll have a quick debrief. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the COVID-19 lockdown account today. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have been taking it, please do press that share button and share it amongst social media so that other people in your household or your close family circle can enjoy it as much as you have. Also, if you'd like to give us a cheeky comment, keep it kind and keep it clean. We'll be more than happy to give you a cheeky reply within about 48 hours. Also, guys, if you do have a voice and you'd like to get involved and help me in my gargantuan task of interviewing 100 people during the COVID-19 lockdown, get in contact with me via my business page, ABC Gym, or just chuck us a cheeky comment and I'll be in contact fairly soon. Thanks again for watching or listening, guys. And Dannika, thank you so much. See you soon.